All right, so mean detail. What is this all about? So for those of you who have read the Symposium statement, you'll know that I've billed this event as a 2-day working session probing recent advances in architectural detail. But why discuss detail? There are certainly other topics we could pursue, such as narrative, fictive scenarios, drawing, graphics, ornament, robotics, virtual reality, additive manufacturing, composite construction, and the list goes on. And I think, in fact, we will talk about those things over the next 2 days. But while many of these issues may seem more immediately appealing or even relevant than detail, in fact, the plan is to move these topics through the lens of detail. But still, detail has a very practical ring to it. And it also has a long history, which means that it drags along plenty of baggage. So why single out detail? And my short answer to this is that I believe that the issue of the detail as the site where architecture's conceptualization begins to lead towards its execution is still inseparable from our ability to perform and articulate sophisticated architectural desires. And my hypothesis is, and I should say that I have 2 or 3 that I'm going to be exploring over the course of this weekend, is that architectural detail is perhaps the best place to uncover and discuss the central tendencies driving many ambitious architects like the folks that we've brought in. Additionally, in a moment that seems on its surface exceptionally diverse in terms of lines of thought and style, the detail may prove an effective element for linking in concept, strategy, and importantly, consequence, a number of our most effective approaches to design. It is also an ambition of the Symposium to reorient the way that we talk about detail, to propose that architects are now producing, and to propose that architects are producing a new type of detail, what I am trying to position as mean detail. And it is another hypothesis that this mode of detail, mean detail, productively pushes against some of the previous arguments and cases that have been made for why details are important, and what consequences for architecture should flow from its details. To be more specific, there's a desire on the part of this event to hijack the detail, if it hasn't been hijacked already, and to reclaim it for advanced architecture. And to do this means moving the detail away from the expectation that it should be something that's too obviously special, or a clearly fashioned singularity that signals that it's doing a certain type of cultural work while likely excluding others. And so to move away from the singular and the special means to move towards the middle. We could call this an average or the mean. So I've landed on mean detail as a way of pursuing a move away from the singular detail. Now I'm not claiming this shift is happening just now. We could point to, for example, Farshid Musavi's book, The Function of Ornament from 2006. And while the book's title advertises ornament, we could just as easily call it an investigation of expressive detail. And I think down to the way that she situates what I would call a detail, so this is the format of the book. And we kind of dig into projects individually. Many of you are probably familiar with this book. But what she's, even the way that she, let's see, I've lost my place here. Okay. So I think that Farshid's approach is very sympathetic to the approach of the Symposium. And this is true even down to the way that she situates what I would call a detail, even if it's something like color. In relation to, and she always situates this in relation to an affect. And in the format of this symposium, I think we will frame this as a detail and a consequence. So I think that the limitation of Farshid's book, The Function of Ornament, is that it limits the investigation of consequences of detail to affect. And beyond this, its account of effective qualities produced by each project is limited to a one-word assessment and a very secondary description. So the goal of this conference, in contrast, is to explore a broader range of consequences through the idea of mean detail. And I'd like to briefly pick apart this term, mean detail, to set up the discussions that will follow. And I'll do this in reverse order. So we'll start with detail. Now I assume that we all already know what an architectural detail is, at least in practical terms. Every architect is intimately familiar with the detail bubble or call-out. And we know that whatever falls within this call-out, we have to draw again. And establish the simplest possible definition of an architectural detail, we might simply say that a detail is a moment where an architect would not trust his or her contractor to make a decision on their own. I don't know about you guys, but this might be like pretty much everywhere. So, and this is clearly ironic, since the notion of a well-detailed building has traditionally been synonymous with craft. Yet a craftsperson, by definition, is someone who should know, through their skill and training, what to do already. So the provision of a detail by an architect implies exactly the opposite. And as I researched the topic, I found that the architect and historian Edward Ford, who has painstakingly traced modern methods of construction, makes the same observation in the first volume of his two-part work, The Details of Modern Architecture. In the introduction, he makes the following evocative assertion, which is that detailing was born when craftsmanship died. He continues that it's always surprising to see how little the drawings of Renaissance architects resemble the finished building. The quality of architectural elements, like column capitals, is largely due to the quality of their execution, and those who did the work had a fair degree of latitude in their adaptation of the design. Without question, the system is dead today. So in keeping with the arithmetic theme of the conference title, I decided to put a little chart together that might speculate on how many more details we would have to draw depending on the quality of the craftsperson. So on the left-hand side, we have the number of architectural details per 5,000 square feet of building, and this is not particularly scientific. And then as you have like a very skilled craftsperson on the left and move towards zero, there's a linear relationship between the amount of details that you have to produce. So I calculated that it would be like a 2-to-1 ratio, rise over run. So for every percentage decrease in skill of the craftsperson, you'd have to actually produce 2 more details. So, but of course, I think if we're really being honest with ourselves as architects, it doesn't really matter what the craftsperson, the capacity of the craftsperson. We're going to want to draw as many details as we can. So the red line is maybe a better reflection of our desire to detail the hell out of everything all the time. And Ford goes so far as to suggest that beyond industrialization, another possible source for the decline in craft is in fact our own obsession with detailing. And he claims basically that 19th century architects were so obsessed with detailing and controlling every aspect of the building process that it crowded out the possibility of craft. And I just want to show one more example from Ford that I was, so we just love to draw details. These are not particularly beautiful details. This is a detail from one of the participants. I won't name him, but some of you may recognize it. And so we just love to draw intricate details, and perhaps this also results in a decline of craft. And so one more example from Ford that I thought was fantastic. This is a house, Marist Wood by Richard Norman Shaw from 1876. And in his desire to produce the effect of a somewhat roughly made, half-timbered house, he precisely describes the imprecision that he's looking for in his drawings. So here's the drawings, here are the drawings, and if we zoom in here, it's kind of hard to see. But he writes that something like the space between the timbers are to be varied slightly in width, and the width of the timber board should also be varied. So these are detailed instructions to a craftsperson, instructing him to do his job imprecisely, in a very precise way. And I think this example, apart from being humorous, clearly shows that architectural detail is not about craft, as it was traditionally conceived. It's ultimately about control. So now, if we say a builder or fabricator has good craft, what we mostly mean is that this person has the diligence to follow our instructions very, very precisely, showing fidelity to our designs, even if we don't know exactly how it's going to get built ourselves. And I think that this idea of fidelity, diligence, precision, and also on the other side, perfection and error, raises questions about how automated fabrication methods and also digital design techniques are transforming detail currently. And all of this is simply to say that as we talk about details over the next 2 days, I'd like to focus on the idea that details are not really about craft, but about the production of very specific desired effects and consequences for architecture. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. And so clearly, clearly I find many ideas and issues rest of the architectural detail. Through his essays in the 1970s and 80s, culminating in his masterwork, Studies in Tectonic Culture, Frampton developed an incredibly elaborate theoretical edifice around the architectural detail. He was very specific about what a detail is, primarily a construction joint, and he was also very specific about the type of cultural work that he wanted details to do. And these goals were lofty, really to a fault. He tasked details operating through a somewhat elusive notion of surplus experience to allow people to live more authentic lives, connect with the cosmos, resist late capitalism, and of course, the project of critical regionalism, that harmoniously assimilate modernism with distinct local cultures of building. Now, what I've just described is perhaps an oversimplification of Frampton's project, and there's so much to be learned from reading Frampton, although it does tend to require a lot of caffeine. But I think my description still gets to the heart of our problem with the detail. All of Frampton's lofty ambition is a lot to put on a construction joint. It is also obsessed with authenticity as a primary virtue, which precludes, in Frampton's scheme for the detail, a lot of other interesting possibilities for what cultural work and consequences details can produce. And this, of course, is the topic of the symposium. Once we wrench the way we feel about detail away from Frampton, and once we chuck out the notion that the detail needs to be a poetic singularity in the form of a construction joint, or the culmination of some sort of idealized, authentic act of craft that restores balance and harmony to the world. My question is, can we embrace a more regular discussion of detail again? And what new worlds open up for investigation? And this is the task of the symposium. So, a quick word about mean. First of all, the idea of a detail as a singularity is not unique to Frampton, and I think a lot of architects, especially high-tech architects who work within the tectonic tradition that Frampton was concerned with, had a much more exuberant take on detail. But just so we're clear on what a detail is as an exuberant, foregrounded singularity, you can take these joints at Terminal 5 by Richard Rogers as a prime example. So let's move to mean. All right, I've got to work on my comic timing. Now mean, I hope, and probably a lot of other things. Now mean, I hope everyone now realizes not mean as in vicious or aggressive. I could have put a picture of Jeff here, but I chose mean simply means an arithmetic mean, or a central tendency in a group of elements. And I think that I also just wanted to, for maybe the first time in the history of architecture, pair Ken Frampton and Lindsay Lohan on that slide. So, but when we're talking about mean, we're not talking about Lindsay, we're not talking about Jeff, or even Kenneth. We're talking about an arithmetic mean. And this is actually the midterm results for the first time I taught structures. Some of you may even remember this exam. And I adjusted the mean. And so this was the new mean after I accounted for my deficiencies as a teacher in teaching structures the first time. Now, clearly most students want to be over here in the top performing. And I think that's what we could say that this detail wants to be from Richard Rogers. This is an exceptional detail. For those of you who have seen the movie Election, this is like the Tracy flick of details. It is here, foregrounded, raising its hand in class every time an instructor asks a question. So it's not to say that the effects that are produced by mean details shouldn't be exceptional, but that the details themselves, I think, will operate in a fundamentally different way. So the question of the symposium is fundamentally, what is a mean detail? And what could it look like? And I'll leave you with a slide from one of the participants. I don't know if he or she will talk about this project or not. But when we sort of compare these two details, I think this starts to express the difference between details that they have often traditionally been conceived